On this second episode of the Alex Henry Foster podcast, Alex is going to share about how the setlist is adapted from concert to concert, how the songs are chosen, how important it is to leave that door open in order to connect with the audience. He will also share about what a day looks like on this European tour. And now that Alex integrated new instruments to his live performances, he'll share about how he combines the technical challenges that it presents to the very profound and introspective nature of Windows in the Sky, where to find the balance between a difficult sound check and what he'll have to deliver during the concert.
Hi guys, welcome to the second edition of the Alex Henry Foster podcast. We are right now in Freiburg, Germany, in a little Irish pub called Oscar Wilde. So, hi Alex, thank you for having us. How are you doing?
Very good, very good.
So, it's a day off for you today, which is somehow unusual because your tour is absolutely loaded with shows night after night.
We just added new concerts as well.
Yep.
Which will be announced later on.
Less days off.
Yep.
A lot more fun, I guess.
Well, that's the beauty of it, you know. We're not coming on a road for having like vacations. So that's the beauty to be able to tour a lot. And before going any further, I'm in an Irish pub, but since I'm supporting Jeff with the keto
diet.
Yeah, so I cannot have like a proper Irish beer. So to all my ancestors, my Irish ancestors, I'm very sorry, but the labor of love took place in this choice of drink. So this is gin, at least. So that being said, back to you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
It's a bit weird, actually.
Oh, I'm sure it's not that bad.
Sorry.
All right. So, even though you're on a day off, what I would like to introduce to people is what a day on the road typically looks like for you. So, so far, you've had 5 concerts. The previous podcast we've done, we were in Cologne, so we had that concert, and then we played in Bielefeld, also in Germany, and last night we were in Switzerland and Basel. But night after night, you guys changed the set list, which is something that's kind of new because usually, even though the songs really change a lot when you play them, the set list usually was the same night after night. But this time on this tour, why do you change them? I was curious to know about it.
Yeah, well, for us, it's very important to keep everything fresh. And since those songs, and this is what I think I talked about a little in the previous podcast, but for me, it's very important to keep everything fresh, to keep it to keep it real and honest. And in order to do so, we need to change songs because it's very easy night after night to play the same songs and you get really comfortable playing them. So, and I think at one point, human nature kind of leads the way to turning everything into the same gimmick night after night. So for me, it's very, very important to keep it real and to make sure that we're really connected to the vibe of the city, to the people that we're meeting during the day. So that's why I like to change the set list a little bit.
Yeah.
So night after night. So sometimes, you know, we were playing like Shadows Over Evening Tides.
Yeah.
And then after that, it was like, okay, well, let's jump to Winter's Coming In. So, and last night we only played 3 songs for 55 minutes.
Yeah, well, that's another thing because some people were asking me, okay, so what was the set list? And then I sent them for songs and they were just like, but you played an hour. What are the other songs?
Yeah.
No, well, they were the only 4 songs
that's
were
a cool
played.
thing. First, to be able to play that long, that's fun because it's allowing us just to take all the room necessary to do like improvisations and add up to the moment and to really let go. So that's the cool thing because when you only have like, let's say half an hour or 40 minutes, it's very difficult to bring the people in our kind of like atmosphere,
universe somehow.
Yes, and and now it's very musical. So it's complete different vibe, and by doing so we can like do different things. We have like two drums, and there's like so many instruments to
Yeah.
work with. So that's the fun part, and also it all depends on the people you're meeting during the day.
Yeah, because this is what I was also curious about. Like, how do you choose what song are the ones you're going to play on different evenings? Like, what motivates the choices
It's really
behind
about the
them?
vibe of the city. What I usually like to do is to go and walk around a little, and or talk with people, and from everybody at the venue, get
Yeah.
the vibe of the place. So I don't want to turn it into like some kind of a spiritual kind of
Yeah.
weird thing, but it's really about how I feel about the place. So, and I'm always wondering, okay, so what can we share with people? Because that's the thing, for us, it's not about people coming to look at us perform.
No,
It's
exactly.
really that connection, and that's the ultimate
A
goal.
communion that you
That's
have with the
always the
people.
ultimate goal, and to be able to do that, you need to be sensitive to maybe the history of the place, the history of the club or the venue you're playing. So that's why it's very special. Like when we played in Bielefeld, or was it in Bielefeld? No, it was probably like in Basel. It was like a very special place, very special venue, and so they used to hide Jewish people during like
Okay.
Second World War. So those little things are really special. So
And
you
so
can't.
this will motivate.
Yeah, you got a
how-
glimpse of what's living within the context of where you going to be performing at. So that's the thing that I like when it's more about poetry and things like that. So we were so fortunate to play in very singular places. So I,
Yeah.
I like to have that same level of commitment to the place as the commitment of the people inviting us to
Yeah.
such place.
Yeah.
So to those
And
places.
are there songs that you absolutely want to do every night because they mean something and for you in specifically and that you want to share it? Like, is there a song that's always going to be like, for the moment at least, because I know this may change, but
Yeah, we're too early in the tour to really answer that question. But so far we've got like that very nice momentum. That we're
Yeah.
started with Slow Pace of the Winds,
yes.
and then we have like
which is a
Summertime.
song that's not on any album that people cannot listen to unless they
Yeah,
they
it's gonna
come
be on
to
the
your
next
shows,
album.
But
We're already working on it. News. So yeah, and we're playing like Summertime Departures, and when we have enough time, Hunter. But at the same time, we're just starting, so
And
everything will
Hunter, yeah.
change. Everything will change. We'll play. My goal is to make sure that depending on the vibe of those places, I want to play every single songs of the record at least once.
that's great.
So that's the thing,
That's really cool.
to
And,
keep everyone honest in this band. No gimmick allowed.
But also, I was curious to know because I usually am there when you guys do your sound checks, and sometimes things don't go well on a technical level. Just technically, you cannot hear yourself, or the sound is not right, or things break, which is something that happened last night. Like we were sound checking and something just suddenly broke.
Yeah.
But how do you balance the technical aspect and the problems that may cause with the communion that you wish to have
Yeah,
with
I
the
think
people?
it's a personal commitment towards the show that needs to take the top of your priority, because if you only focus on the technicals, there's always something going on. There's always something you don't feel like you've got much to offer. There's something with the guitar, there's something with the sound that doesn't relate to what you want, or there's like just like yesterday we had problems with the second drum. So all those things. But if you focus on those things, it's impossible for you to really dwell into the moment with the people.
Yeah.
And that stuff sometimes, just like yesterday, I was like very tired, and I really felt like I had like it was tough for me just to get into the motion of the day. So soundcheck usually is the place where you're just like getting a little bit comfortable. Then you can say, for myself, just okay. Well, this is, I can understand what I have in terms of like the voice. So okay, so this is what I can. That's what I've got tonight.
Yeah.
Because this is very musical, but also it's about the emotion, the singing. It's
Yeah.
it's about really you cannot you can I just can't like cheat that thing. So I really need to fully dwell into it and to be and in order
Yeah.
to do that, I need to understand sometimes that, well, okay, well, tonight that's the voice that I've got, and maybe all those fancy high notes aren't available tonight. You know what I mean? So I need to, and it's okay. But before, I was struggling with that thing like crazy. I would hurt myself every night
Trying to sing
trying,
them
yeah,
anyway,
because it's all the insecurity of trying to go all the way. It needs to be painful, but it's not true. It needs to be real rather than being painful. So, and I think that you can be real and honest dealing with what you've got. So
Yeah.
like yesterday at the sound check, I knew, I said, okay, well, I was tired. The voice ain't like I would love for it to be, and well, that's what I've got. And then suddenly, boom, at the concert, suddenly everything went back. And that was like vocally, that was like my, I think, best show, because it doesn't take all the place anymore.
Yeah.
It's more about, okay, well, this is what I've got, and I'm gonna give it all anyway.
Yeah.
So I don't have to fight against myself.
100% of what you have.
Yeah,
at any
exactly,
given
and that's
day.
so much fun because
Of course.
it's about that communion. And last night, even at the sound check, we had problems with the second drum. During the show, we had problem with the second drum, and but now we're such a unit, and we're with the guys. They're really following the vibe. They're following where I want to go. So we were just like looking at each other. Ben was like trying to fix. I think it was like for like the bass drum pedal, something like that. So we were just like, well, okay, he's fixing it. So whatever, we'll see in a few seconds.
We'll see what
but
happens.
before, it would have been like the end of the world.
This would have
Everything
taken
would have
over,
collapsed like in a split second. So, but it was just like, okay, well, we looked at each other, and we kept doing things. Seth was doing his thing, so went on the move, just, and then the improvisation just takes a little bit more space then, and it's even more
Yeah.
exciting, and then you can connect with the people, and people, I think,
But
didn't
it's great
really
to-
realize what
Yeah.
it was. They just thought it was like crazy. So
But I think that this approach, first and foremost, really makes it more enjoyable for you before everybody else, because you can
Yeah,
just
but
really
just-
live
just-
the moment.
just like I said,
For what it
I
is.
always had problems with, even like for rehearsals, because those songs are so intimate, so personal.
Mm-hmm.
It's very difficult just to go and rehearse. You know what I mean? It's not like something that it's not 1 + 1 =
Yeah.
2. So there's a lot of emotions involved. So you have to be in tune with those emotions. So
Yeah.
that's why it's always difficult. But I think now the fun part is it's really like like that communion through the music,
Yeah.
and it makes the whole, it's very different, and it's very funny. That's what I told Jeff this morning. I said, we were in the bus and we were talking, and I said, wow, it's very funny, but I really enjoy this whole thing going on right now. It's peaceful, it's respectful, and we're really able to dwell into the moment, which before was very, very difficult. Even though we're super busy, there's always things to do, and it's a circus on the road.
I can imagine that.
We're
yeah.
so many people, but Before, it was very difficult only to appreciate a little bit of the wonders that we were receiving. It was very, very tough for so many different reasons, good or bad. But I just had that moment today. It was just like, wow, this is cool. This is
fun.
my life, and
Yeah.
I'm so blessed.
Wow.
Before I was like blessed like no others, but I wasn't able to see that as the blessing that it was. And now I'm just like really appreciating everything.
But do you think it's because you couldn't see it as a blessing, or
It's a
because
big thing, right?
That's
It's
a
just
big
like-
thing. It's a huge blessing, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's strange.
But do you think that before it's because you couldn't see the blessing, or because you could see it but you couldn't
I was miserable.
feel it?
I was miserable. And I think that when you're miserable, it's very difficult for you to see what's going on around you. And it's very difficult to be able to connect with the other people around you. And the reality is, as much as, even though you don't want that, but I think that when you're very miserable, like I was, you're making other people miserable, because people are not very comfortable around you, because they would love to, to be, to change your condition, and they really want to have like a positive impact in your life. But I wasn't able to. I was seeing it. I was seeing like other people's attempts to really turn it into something more like
Hopeful,
brighter.
yeah. Or something brighter, yeah.
But when you're in that mindset, it's very difficult. And we had like the entourage that we had at the time was a
Yeah.
real problem. So now I think that since we changed so much of our surrounding, the technical team, and the people that are coming with us on tour or are sharing those moments, we're one,
Yeah.
rather than fighting against everybody and
Yeah.
try. That was so complicated. But now it's
Definitely.
fun, and I think that I don't regret that those moments of the past, because it's what like shaped who I am now.
Yeah, it has played a part
And
in
I'm not
who you
bitter
are
about
now.
this. I would have loved to appreciate a little bit more. We went all over the world with Your Favorite Enemies.
Yeah.
And I don't remember much. I haven't seen much. Or maybe I wasn't able to see
Yeah, exactly.
really
Yeah.
beyond my selfish reality, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
now it's I think that because I went through those emotion and those moments, difficult moments, now I can appreciate even more. So again, you don't have to be miserable to appreciate life, but that's what happened.
Well,
so
for you, it's been this way. It
Yeah,
doesn't mean it
exactly.
has to be like that for everyone, but this is
Of course.
your story and how you've lived it. And something else also that I think is really interesting and that people don't usually have an access to. I'm one of the very few privileged people to be able to witness that night after night, is that every time after the shows you gather and then you talk about like what has happened on stage. Can you tell us a little bit about like this special moment that you shared together?
Yeah, that's also something that's very important now, because since we're connected and we're like a very strong unit, like personally, as friends, so we can address what happened. We can say, well, okay, well, tonight this section we didn't follow. You guys didn't follow, or maybe I was like, I had a technical problem, you didn't pay attention, or this section we need to be a little bit more careful, because we became a little bit ambitious about doing something special rather than being really focused on living the moment, because that's always, because the guys, they're so good. It's like
You're very good musicians. yeah.
exactly. So, and I know that sometimes they can be like a little bit, maybe feel a little bit like restraint or something, and human nature
In the music, you mean?
in the music. Well, yeah, because for me, I'm conducting,
yeah.
so I'm all about solos and people like taking off, and because those guys are awesome, so and they can do whatever they want with their instruments, but I don't want that at the expenses of the moment. And
Yeah.
for me, this is what really matter. So, and when I feel like we kind of missed a bit of the point, so we need to talk about it. And sometimes, it's for other people, it would be like, oh, this is harsh because you guys were like fantastic, but it's not about that. It's we know what happened.
Yeah.
We're conscious.
It's something that goes beyond the bigger picture of what
Yes,
people in the
of
crowd
course,
can
of
hear.
course. Or even me, I would say, well, okay, yeah, that part I was like a little bit lost, or I got lost in my in the moment. So thanks, guys, you really picked me up, and then we were able to go in the direction I wanted the band to go. So that's really how we were talking, sometimes
Yeah.
because you can talk a lot about technicalities, which is really, really important because you want to, from a night to another, to be able to really touch what you want, not only in terms of the vibe, but also as musicians.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
because it's very easy to hide yourself. Well, oh, everybody liked it. Yeah, but we kind of sucked,
There's a
Yeah, but
very
it was
thin
very
line
intense.
between-
Yeah, but we kind of missed the point. So that's why it's very important to talk and to keep that mindset. It's really, really important, especially when you're playing almost every night.
Basically
like
every
we're doing.
night. Yeah.
So you need to make sure that it's not just another gig.
Yeah.
That you need to have like your A game.
You don't go there, punch in, and then punch out
Exactly.
at the end.
And
Yeah.
sometimes it is difficult because you can only like give what you have. But you need to really focus on the moment to have like,
And-
when I hate like bands that are doing like the same freaking jokes at the same place every other night because it's like, okay, it's well rehearsed, those jokes will
work, and they're gonna get a reaction.
So and I hate that when I see bands like that. I totally lose interest
Yeah.
in those guys quite fast.
And this is something else that I wanted to know because, of course, it's a very intense schedule that you have. How do you deal with the tiredness? Unless there's none,
maybe that
but-
will be like podcast number 6. That's
Number
keep
6? Okay.
keep that questions for later. That question for later.
I will. I'll take note of it.
Yeah.
And then
So
we'll
far,
come
so
back.
far it's we're too.
So far, so
it's
good?
Too early to talk about that.
Okay.
So
So
maybe
we'll
next
come
time
back
I'm going to
with
be
that.
like, yeah, two more whiskey, please. I don't know. I will start to smoke or something. So we'll see.
We'll see. we'll see. I hope we
probably
won't
not.
get there.
Probably not. But yeah,
All right. Well, thank you very much for your
that's
time.
it. I mean, you haven't talked about what I'm doing during the day.
We can talk about a lot more
Nah,
things.
you're not
but
prepared. You weren't prepared. I'm sorry.
I wasn't prepared. Well, okay. Sure, let's keep that for podcast number 3 then.
Podcast number
Daytime.
3. Daytime.
Life on the road.
Yeah.